Hi, everyone. Rob Southgate here, co-owner of this network, Southgate Media Group. Before we get started, we want to thank you for being a patron and supporting Southgate Media Group. You are the fuel that keeps this whole thing going, and we are so grateful that you like what we create. As a patron at the $5 a month and above level, you get Patreon-exclusive shows that only live right here on our Patreon page. Shows like Geek My Kid, Passion Project, and this one, This Week in Geek, are made exclusively for you, our supporters. Stay tuned because there's a lot of new exciting stuff coming from Southgate Media Group right here on the SMG Patreon page. And now, here's This Week in Geek.
I don't know the date.
It's the 10th. It's March 10th.
Mario
Day.
Oh!
There you go.
Welcome to This Week in Geek. It is March 10th, 2021. We have leaped into the future. And it's Mario Day, so woohoo! So, yeah, man. We're back, and this time we're back in a different way. This is our new Patreon show. We may end up putting it out there for free, but probably not. We might put a portion out for free. I think that's what we're going to do. The rest of it's going to be on Patreon because we're trying to support the network. And frankly, this is a way to do it. So, but you get it as a video feed if you go to Patreon. So you get to see Alil's amazing transformation. He's actually going to drop weight during the show.
Hopefully. That'd be great.
And if he takes his hat off, you'll see him drop hair, too. All right.
That is true as well.
I'm Rob Southgate. With me is...
I guess Alil, since you've already called me out, so Alil.
You guess Alil, or are you confident?
I guess I'm Alil. Yeah.
I guess
I'm Alil.
I guess I'm Scotty Smurf.
And Chris Ma.
Hey, guys, what's with the low energy tonight? This is our first time back in, like 2 years?
Almost.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah, man, we didn't even do a Twiggy Awards last year. So we're really behind. But we're not going to do any of that. This is just going to be us talking. Really, if you thought it was less formal before...
Can it get less formal?
Yeah. I mean, we are wearing shirts, so I guess that's something.
I am not wearing pants, and that's for Patreon only, so...
Oh.
I thought that was the OnlyFans part.
That's true.
We're here to announce that we have a This Week in Geek OnlyFans account. Fortunately, there are none.
We pay you.
We pay. So, boys, what have you been up to? It's been a year plus. Anything new?
No.
Nothing's happened. A little dropped an entire person's in weight, and the country was shut down. But besides that, things have been great.
Yes.
Well,
we're watching a lot of TV.
I think all of us are. I was going to say, I know this hasn't affected you guys, but there's been this thing. It's a pandemic we've been dealing with over here. And for the last year, there's been
Hogwarts?
At Hogwarts, yeah.
While you're licking your fingers and getting that COVID all over the place?
Oh, you can't see it.
Barbecue
Bone-sucking sauce, yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's delicious.
I thought that was for the OnlyFans page, not the page.
Yeah, that's going to be our OnlyFans feed. This Week in Geek's bone-sucking sauce. Oh, I've got food coming out of my mouth, too.
Oh, my God.
Okay, Rated R Edward is already offended.
Actually, this year I've watched a lot less TV. I mean, Scott, I know you said you watch more. I mean, we cut the cord, so we only have apps and an antenna.
Yeah.
And I've watched more YouTube than anything else. Like, I've actually been following some really fun YouTubers because I've been getting into retro gaming a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, it's not as much regular TV. Like, I haven't watched outside of, WandaVision and, some shows like that, I have not followed anything. Nothing that's come out on a network. Let's just put it that way.
Well, when I say TV, I just mean we're just watching it on TV. But yeah, we cut the cord probably 12 years ago ourselves.
Oh, okay.
So we're on Hulu and Netflix, Amazon Prime, stuff like that.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, we've watched a lot of stuff like that. Mandalorian, Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Lower Decks.
I have not watched any of those. I've heard Lower Decks is great. I have not watched any of that stuff. I have to. We re-upped the Paramount because Paramount supposedly might be releasing some of their theatrical movies on the app within a month. I don't know. So that's why we love HBO Max. HBO Max is like a steal at this point. Getting Wonder Woman.
Wait a minute. I'm not going to say it's a steal for that. They should have paid you.
I understand that, but I would have gone to the theater to see it. What was that Denzel movie?
Not when you saw the reviews. Holy crap. That was terrible.
I still would have gone. My girls love it. My wife loves Wonder Woman. We still would have gone.
Did they like this one?
They liked it enough. I don't think they were as engaged. It's not. Here's the thing. Here's what I can tell you about it. They've already binge watched WandaVision multiple times.
Really? They
only watched every episode has been watched multiple times by everybody else in this house, more than me. And
well, don't spoil it for me. But I have a question because I'm hearing some chatter. I'm hearing they kind of did a Last Jedi on this, and the landing went a little off kilter.
No.
The landing went off kilter because idiot fans, me included, were hoping for this grandioso expansion.
Right.
The story that they told about Wanda and Vision was fantastic. Yeah. It's top notch. It has a great payoff. It leads threads for other things, but this is, and I'm not counting Spider-Man Far From Home because yes, that's MCU, but that's not. That was like an epilogue to Endgame. We're coming off Endgame, seeing everyone on screen, seeing all these big things. This is the first thing we've gotten from Marvel in like a year and a half.
Yeah,
and everyone was hoping. And I'm not, so I'm not spoiling, but everybody was hoping that there would be, references to other characters that haven't even appeared yet, multiverse stuff, all this kind of stuff. But it was really a story about Wanda.
Which is dumb too, if you think about it. Like they were gonna.
It is and it's not. It is and it's not because it's all connected. They've
got Multiverse of Madness coming out. They don't want to tip their hand too far. They gave us a little glimpse.
True.
They've got this Spider-Man thing about to happen. They don't want to show too much because then when it happens, you're not like, oh snap! Look what's going on here. They, you know what? Yeah, we can't spoil because it's going to take Scott 7 years to see it. Scott, is that true?
Probably. Yeah. We saw. So we did get back into the MCU. We saw Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, hey, you're catching up.
Which I have thoughts about.
Now, are you caught up to that point?
Just up to that point, but yeah.
So you watched Civil War, Homecoming.
I think Black Panther is next.
Okay.
So you saw Thor Ragnarok?
No, we haven't seen Thor yet. No, not that one.
Thor is Thor next? Thor's
no.
Thor's after Black Panther.
Yeah, Thor's after Black Panther.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
I think
one thing that's happened in the last year and a half is Alil has gone completely DC. Although he did watch
my background.
WandaVision.
All DC, right?
Yeah.
You got a wall that opens up and it's just a big statue of Batman with nipples, the George Clooney.
Oh, yeah.
No, but did you see that hot toy of Chris O'Donnell's Batman from Batman Forever?
Dude, yeah.
The cod piece on that hot toy is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's zoomed in, junctified. It is.
Wait a minute, the John Blake character as Batman?
No, not John Blake.
No, it's his
O'Donnell from Robin from Batman Forever. Hot Toys released a hot toy that's on pre-order, and his man area is accentuated. I'm not joking. It is crazy. I have a video of it on YouTube.
And Alil has 4 of them on pre-order.
I do not, because I do not own any DC stuff. I actually have one thing that's DC, one thing, and it's a signed art print by Neil Adams. because he was the first ever interview I ever did for my own podcast.
Nice.
So that's the only DC thing in my room.
All right.
So,
despite the hashtag DC Alil.
Do I need to go get all my Superman DVDs and Blu-rays? Because I got plenty of those.
Well, movies don't count. Like, movies don't count. I mean, I have all the movies as well because I collect movies. I watch movies. I've watched all the movies. I didn't hate Green Lantern as much as most people.
No, I didn't
love
either.
Ryan Reynolds. That's. Also,
I didn't hate that one. I mean, there's parts of it that are absolute garbage, but there was actually a movie in there.
Kind of.
There was. There was.
So, do you think, just let me interject something, do you think that they did not put any big spoilers in WandaVision because Black Widow was supposed to be out first and they were going to tease it from there? Even though that's kind of a retro, they might put something in there for the future.
See, the thing is, I think
for a movie.
The problem with WandaVision, even Falcon and Winter Soldier, most of these were written and done 2 years ago.
Right.
They were filmed last year. So it's like by the time you get to that point, like the deal with Fox wasn't official, or it just the ink just dried on it.
Right.
So it's not like that they were planning on all this stuff. They were looking at how do we continue the story of these characters, and then maybe pepper in some things, not pepper pots, other things throughout. But I don't. They can, just like this, the things that they led into WandaVision, where we're like, oh my God, look at that from Doctor Strange. Look at how that tied in. They can do the same thing with these little threads that they left open. I just don't think that I don't think the plan was ever huge.
Right.
I think, again, especially for I think the problem why it got huge was in the beginning. Before the season started, they did interviews. Elizabeth Olsen said that they have something that's going to tease that's as big as the end of The Mandalorian. And she was referring to Evan Peters being in the show.
Scott,
not spoil. I mean, sorry, Scott.
I saw that.
Evan Peters is in the show. So her theory on that, she even thought that other things were happening and didn't know it wasn't that until there yet. So she didn't understand what was happening. She thought it was what the fans rejoiced for. And then Paul Bettany said, I think he was trolling the fans. He said
because the person he was referring to was himself.
Yeah, so it was an actor that he's always wanted to work with. So I mean,
I do have to say that was fantastic.
Well, and it may be that Evan Peters, that is a tie-in that they retro back in,
and they could.
They could, and I mean, when you saw him, I was like, I'm a huge Evan Peters fan just from American Horror Story, and I was like totally pumped.
Well, Evan Peters was one of the best parts of the latter. So if we're going to the X-Men movies, like I loved X-Men First Class. I think X-Men First Class was
amazing. I love the X-Men movies.
And Days of Future Past, while was a really good movie, I thought Evan Peters was a scene stealer.
Actually, I think that's one of the better X-Men movies, but his scene stole the show. And then in the next two, is it 2 or 3?
Yes, 2. It's been Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. That's why when Scott said he loved all the X-Men movies, I ignored that comment.
Yeah, those are tough. But
those are horrible. And X-Men.
But the Evan Peters parts are highly watchable.
When he goes exactly, you could just fast forward to him.
When he does that scene in Xavier's mansion.
Oh, he's saving the kids.
Oh, God,
my God, that's amazing.
That's a masterwork.
Yeah, the rest of the movie you could just skip over.
That's all I care about, seeing him. I mean, even though I love Fassbender and I love McAvoy, but that's what the fans wanted. The fans were hoping that those guys would be showing up as a big tie-in, and it's like, this is not their story. This is Wanda's story. What Wanda
and they want people to pay for that.
Right,
but
throwing them in here.
They're paying.
No, they're not paying. Different. They're not paying box office money.
They're pay. Oh, are you kidding me? $6.99 a month. They're already increasing that. With what they're making on Disney Plus now is going to dwarf the cinemas.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to because
wait,
that's
is it though?
reoccurring.
No,
They're
wait.
already 100 million subscribers.
But it doesn't trickle down to the theaters.
When you divide up all the movies that they put out in a year, and you add up the total, is Disney Plus making more than that entire total?
I think they eventually will. But the problem is,
I do think so too. But right now they're not there.
They're not, but they're getting close. They're getting close.
And Rob, you got to remember that even though they'll spend $500 million on a movie, half of that is advertising. And if they don't have to spend it on advertising, because they're not spending that on Disney Plus,
and 30% goes to the theaters.
Yeah, so it's cheaper to produce it by yourself.
Yeah, but that's why the box office for them, the profit is a third. So if the movie makes $1 billion, they made $330 million.
Right.
But you are getting income every month, no matter what. Bomb or no.
Evergreen income is amazing. I totally agree with you, and I think this is the future that we're seeing right here. I just think at this moment in time, there's no way you're going to throw in the X-Men on a TV show and spoil that reveal. You could do what they did and tease it and have some fun things going on, but there is no way they're going to have Fassbender on there. There's no way. There's just no way. It was not going to happen.
Not now. No. They're introducing Ms. Marvel.
Not until they're introduced.
Moon Knight. They're introducing all these other characters on.
Yeah. Do they matter as much as having a new Wolverine show up?
Yeah, but they didn't need to have Wolverine show up. That they could have had a Fassbender show up. You think of Fassbender
as Magneto? Yeah, I don't think you reveal Magneto
big enough, or even an Xavier.
I don't think you reveal Magneto yet.
I don't think that makes or breaks
their team leads though. No way.
I don't think it makes or breaks a tease. Especially
it's just like the reason we didn't see John Krasinski show up as Mr. Fantastic.
Well, he's not even cast yet. They haven't even started.
Everybody thinks he's going to be, but let's say he is. We'll just hypothetically. If they had him come on, I think it would have been like, oh, awesome, that's shocking. But I think that they're not doing that yet. I don't think we're going to reveal like that in Winter Soldier either.
Oh yeah, he'll be fantastic too.
Yeah, he'd be perfect for that. That's why everybody's like, he's perfect casting.
Needs to be Reed Richards.
And he has been in for meetings with Marvel. So unless he's Reed Richards.
But you know what, though? I mean, anytime anybody says they've had meetings with Marvel, Marvel meets with a lot of actors all the time. And they've already announced they meet with... Feige meets with Keanu Reeves almost every time they have something going on.
Right.
You know, so it's like, because they want him in, but it's...
What they're going to cast him in Star Wars is what they're going to do. They should.
Yep. But with Krasinski, he's going to... My bet would be that he's going to be Mr. Fantastic. It makes sense. And
he already is, isn't he?
Yeah. But having him on there...
He's fantastic. He's not Mr. Fantastic.
But see, but he was already in WandaVision because he was playing Jimmy Woo.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Remember from The Office?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a stretch.
That was a joke. That
was Rob like. I just want to let you know.
Wait, how long has it been? Because I think the jokes have gotten stale in the year and a half.
Yeah.
Not mine though. Mine, of course, are spot on.
You know, I want to go back to what like Alil said. I think they did just the right amount in WandaVision to continue with these these spin-off ideas because it was fantastic. I know a lot of people that didn't like kind of where it went in the first couple episodes, and I thought it was just amazing because it got you thinking. Well, it got you thinking about possibilities, which is, I think, half of the battle.
And I think that the series, the way it was set up tone, and it paid off at the end. The reason why the series was set up that way, and I like that. I know a lot of people, younger people especially, because they have no reference to that. Like, you know, my kids do because of me, you know, because I force-fed them sitcoms and stuff like that. They know all this stuff. They didn't know all the black and white shows,
right?
You know, but we explain it to them. They've seen, you know. Then they watched a few episodes of Bewitched. They're not into it, but they're like, "Oh, we get it now." They've seen Van Dyke's show,
so they understand the Dr. Bombay, right? Did you show them a Dr. Bombay episode? Those are the best episodes of Bewitched, by the way.
I did not.
No, Aunt Clara.
Dr. Bombay is the best.
Come on, Aunt Clara with her doorknobs. Come on.
Yeah.
Any episode with Elizabeth Montgomery was a good episode.
This is old man talk.
I will. I'll agree with that.
Now this is old man talk. Now we're getting out of hand.
It is.
So you know,
I thought it was funny in the beginning when people were complaining about it, and they just weren't getting it. Anyone who's read House of M knew this was in her head. They knew that this was something she was creating.
Right.
And to me, it was obvious from the first second of that show. I was like, oh, this is the story they're going to tell. I did not see. I mean, I was surprised every episode, though. The way they unfolded stuff.
Yeah.
I was never expecting certain characters to show up, but the Vision storyline, I really wasn't expecting when that happened. I was like, this is awesome. So,
yeah, and
he's still good too, Paul Bettany.
It's exploded the comic book industry.
Okay.
Let me tell you that. Comic books that used to be in the dollar bins are selling for hundreds, even thousands now because of this show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, West Coast Avengers was at 38, I think, the first. Scott, if you've seen
that was one of the comics I used to read back in the day. It was West Coast
Avengers.
Yeah.
Those skyrocketed, and West Coast 38 was the reveal of a Vision situation. I don't want to spoil it for Scott, but
you know what's funny? A byproduct that's going to happen is when this What If show hits.
Oh yeah,
those comics are going to skyrocket because people don't know what that is.
I have Marvel Zombies.
Oh my god, the What If series is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah,
yeah, but some of those are already skyrocketing though because there's already a What If Jane Foster was Thor,
right?
And that one's already skyrocketed. I mean, that's the thing now. Like the spec market and it's collectibles all across the board. The collectibles market has gone insane. I can't even comprehend it. I can't even.
And that's just from Alil buying everything.
No, that's from Alil. That's from Alil selling everything. Let's put it this way: I've sold and made a lot of money these last 2 months selling stuff that literally was going to be given to my kids because I've grown out of Funko Pops and things like that because now I'm in statues and Hot Toys and I like the representation of my collection this way because it's cleaner and it's easier to maintain. And I was getting rid of stuff. I was looking to get rid of it, and all of a sudden, I'm selling loose Funko Pops for $80 to $100.
Oh wow!
Nice.
I found I had a glow-in-the-dark Deadpool that sells for $500.
Wow!
I don't know why. Like I don't know why people are spending this amount of money for this stuff. And then I started looking into more Series 1 of Marvel collectible cards because of all this spec market. The first series, those cards. They were toilet paper 6 months ago. I'm not joking. I've seen them at every con and everything. I've contemplated buying them just to have them for fun because I like to open the cards. It's nostalgia for me. I bought a whole box of Mario cards at Geeks Con one year. And I paid about $5 for a box. And now those cards have even gone up.
I used to have some of those too. The ones
the Marvel cards,
the comic art and stuff.
Yeah, the Marvel cards. Some of those cards, especially if you send them in to get graded, I've seen them sell $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh my god!
The Stan Lee card raw. It's the Stan Lee with his face, and it's all the different characters kind of out there. Depending on how good in quality, you can sell $100 to $200 to $300, depending on if it's centered right and all this kind of stuff. It's the collectible market because of, and it really.
I have a garage full of stuff, Alil.
I know. I want to.
I want to sell it.
I'm hoping. I want to
sell it.
The vax comes soon.
But I'm the guy. So Scott came over and he went through my Magic cards, and the first card he picks up is a $400 card. He's like, "Oh my god!" Yeah. The only nibble I had was on Facebook for it, and the guy offered me $25 for it.
What? You got to just wait.
No.
You got to wait. I have things on there because I have I have loose the glow in the dark turtle set. I threw out the box for the Funko Pops. If I had the box, it's a $1,200 to $1,500 Funko Pops. I don't know why.
Yeah.
They're glow in the dark Ninja Turtles. I love.
Where are you selling them? eBay or Facebook?
Yeah, I just put them on eBay.
That's gonna be my summer project. I am emptying that garage.
If you need help,
I
will also front some cash for some extra stuff because I need.
I got the Death Star, the original one from '77. I've got that one with the box.
Yeah, see, so the Death Star from '77 you can get probably on eBay a few $100s for.
Yeah, I've got a Millennium Falcon, that original from then also.
I mean, a lot of that stuff, but the
Star Wars stuff doesn't sell as well though now.
It does and it doesn't.
Market saturated.
Mandalorian has helped it. Again,
I went into a collectible place here, and I had a bunch of the 12-inch, and I'm going back to the original 12-inch. And I brought him in, and he was like, "This is a great collection." He goes, "Don't sell them to me. Try and sell them on eBay." And he said,
because he's only going to offer you 30 cents on the dollar at best.
Yeah, and he said, and even then, he goes, "This is a great collection. You're going to get like $3 a head." I was like, "Well, that's bull crap." I mean, when I look online, I find them for a lot more. I don't know. I have a problem selling those collectibles. So, Alil, you might have to do a little coaching.
Well,
take them to Kane County.
I was about to say I'm going to have a table at Kane County in October. That's my goal.
We'll advertise it on here when it happens.
My goal this year, after vaccinations and everything, I'll still be wearing a mask, especially because it's Kane County.
It's a Hannibal Lecter mask,
I'm just saying,
because he has eaten
closed
people
and everything. Well, only if they ask. But it's to have a table at Kane County and have a booth there, because I have a lot of stuff I want to get rid of still.
So do I.
It's too big to sell on eBay.
I also have a lot of Funko Pops I could get rid of.
If you have the boxes still, for sure, I'll tell you.
I do.
I have two.
I have.
You just have
most of mine now that I display are the ones that have coffee mugs.
Yeah.
Michael Scott.
No. That's
what I have. Any of them with a coffee mug, and otherwise I don't really. Well, no, I mean I have a couple of cool ones, but
but like I was saying with Star Wars stuff, it's spec market again. Mandalorian brought that back, because now if you look at even those Marvel Star Wars comics, which again were toilet paper a year ago, if you get the first issue, which is weird, because they were on the screen first, but the first issue of Boba Fett, I believe, I want to say 41, maybe it might be wrong, or the first issue with Yoda.
Oh, wait, are you talking the new Marvel ones?
No, the old Marvel one.
Because I might even have a complete run of the original Marvel.
A lot of those are worth a lot of money.
Really? I have 4 or 5 long boxes, and there's a lot of crap in there, but there's also some real treasures.
If they're really in good shape.
Boarded and bagged, baby. Come on, I'm a geek.
Even boarded and bagged at this point, a lot of these still get wear and tear. I mean, they're still bending, increasing as you're piling them into the long boxes. But if you have them and they're in great shape, if I'm there and we're going through them, I will tell you, I would suggest sending them to get CGC graded, because once you do that, you're almost 10xing your money. That's what people want to buy, especially online. Like I would rather buy something slabbed, even if it's a low grade, rather than something that's not graded, just because I know the quality. I know, like, I'm not worried about getting it and then having the back cover fall off, or page ripped up, because nobody's going to take the time to sell a book and have every page in between. But again, talking about The Mandalorian, talking about WandaVision, talking about there's speculation for Omega Red showing up in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yep, I've heard that.
So X-Men number 4, the rerun, when Jim Lee did the first 4 covers, it's still the highest selling comic. Number 4, which again, toilet paper, now is selling for hundreds. So it's like you don't know what you have anymore.
Chris, are you regretting that you took those comics camping and had to wipe your ass with them?
Not really.
I'm regretting selling mine.
Sometimes you got to wait.
I'm regretting selling mine. So
I had a bunch of the old Star Wars ones. I sold them, and I got the collected trade paperbacks of the run. And,
and that's what I've done recently. I've been more of a trade paperback guy.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the market, and I'm like, these are books I passed up on the shelf. The first appearance of Captain Marvel and Avenging Spider-Man. And it's like, well, I have the trade. I had the book there. And I'm like, I don't want to go down paying $4 or $5 a book. I'll get the complete. And now that book's selling for several hundred raw.
I got a great story. So I may have told this on the show before. I know I've told it on other shows. But a guy that I was friends with when he was a kid, he and his brother were way into comic books, right? And they were always spending all their money on it, going down to 7-Eleven, buying all their comics, filling up their house with it. And their dad was pissed off because comics were like everywhere. And he's like, I swear to God, I'm going to throw these out. I'm done with you guys doing this. And they kept doing it, right? And they kept screwing around with it. And finally, one day, that's it. Took all the comics, threw them out. And my friend said, yeah, the comics we had, we treated like garbage, right? So he said they were worthless, but we just bought everything. So now, this is in Chicago. Cut to a while after they've, already pissed Dad off really good. And he says, no more comics come in this house. And he said he and his brother are sitting on the stoop in front of their house. Chicago thing, right? You got those stoops. Yeah. And he said this big car pulls up, a Cadillac. Guy gets out of the car, says, you boys like comic books? And he said that they're looking at each other like, are we about to get molested? Is this that episode from Different Strokes? Is that the guy with the bike shop? No, but they said they're looking at each other going, oh my God. And one of them was like, yeah. Guy opens up his trunk, pulls out 2 giant garbage bags full, throws them down and says, my kid screwed up for the last time. These books are yours. Drives off. Oh, he said they open the bags and it's tons. And he said, no joke. He said he knows for a fact Spider-Man #1 was sitting right there. Oh. And he said they both look like, oh my God, like Holy Grail type stuff in there.
Yeah.
And their dad came home, took the 2 garbage bags and threw them out. Is that the word? And he said it was one of those things like we were so freaked. We took the garbage bags and like hid them under our beds. And their dad came home and they were acting weird. You know how kids would be like, we're getting away with something or we're trying to. And said the dad was just like, nope, something's up. Went up to the room, found the bags, took them right out, put them right in the garbage and said, I told you they're not coming in this house. And at that time, they're going, it's the Holy Grail, but there was no way. They didn't know what it was worth.
Well, right. And that time, Spider-Man #1 was worth maybe a few $100s.
But their dad probably would have been like, oh, wait, a couple $100. I'll keep these comic books and sell them somewhere. Somebody's going to want to buy these. To him, there was no value.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, my mom did the same thing to me. I mean, I got same story. I had comics everywhere. Every major key title from the, because I had relatives and like neighbors and stuff from the late 70s through the 80s.
Of course, they were all Yugoslavian, so it's kind of weird.
No, but all those got thrown out.
It's very nice, man.
Yes, they are.
I remember reading years ago that's what created the boom of comic books was that so many moms and dads threw out collections.
Oh, well, and that's why the 90s
scarcity.
And that's why the 90s comics, because they overprinted them and no one threw them out, killed the market.
Right.
But now the comics are worth more, but they're only worth more from the 90s if you have them in great condition. Because now it's a condition factor.
I think one of the turning points for all that, where the collector's thing really boomed, was the death of Superman. Because everybody bought that damn thing. They even bought, and a lot of them kept them in the bags.
Yep.
When you go to toy shows or you go to comic
bought multiple copies of it.
I always see that damn Superman one with the bag, and it's like they're nothing. They're worthless because everybody bought them. And I mean, you're right. I knew people that had 20 copies of it, and they're like, this is going to fund my kid going to college. And you're like, no, it's really not. It's kind of like people that bought Beanie Babies. Unless you hit that, struck that, right at the right time, you've got a big pile of soft plush toys that are falling apart now.
I agree. And I'm glad I got out of that game when I did. And I sold.
Oh, you did Beanie Babies?
As I was.
What was your holy grail, Alil?
I don't remember. I mean, I think I sold one for like $200.
Yeah, but you had to be searching for one. Was it the Princess Di?
No, because everybody had that one. That I was already out by then.
Like, I bet if I know Chris got all the McDonald's ones.
I think it was the donkey. No, I had the Republican and Democrat one. That was the donkey and the elephant. But so I worked at Allstate back in 1998, and in their building they had a little kind of like a Hallmark kind of place, inside the building on the first level, and they would get the Beanie Babies every morning. So before the collectors showed up, I was friends with the guys there, because I would go to the gym in the mornings and we would talk, and he would be like, oh, these are worth something. I didn't know. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll take them. And I started, going through getting something like that. But then I flipped all those. I mean, like I was never.
I had a friend whose husband was one of these that was hoarding them, and she said their garage was front to back filled with big boxes of Beanie Babies. I was like, look, they're going to fall apart. They are fabric. You need to move them. The bottom is going to fall out of the market. And even if it doesn't, they're going to decompose. Oh, I'm going to hold on to these. Yeah, hold on to them for 30 years. Let's see how valuable they are.
And that's why with Funko Pops, as we're talking, that's why I threw out boxes and stuff, because I didn't think that people were going to want these. And I ended up keeping a bunch of boxes. Like, I was putting them in other boxes just like as a storage, like,
right.
Because, my wife is, she's a hoarder. She's not like terrible hoarder.
We're calling it out.
She likes to keep everything, your box and everything. And
you're lucky because she kept you.
Well, that's true. But I'm one who throws most of the things out. So, like, I had, a handful of the Avengers Funko Pops from the first Avengers movie.
Oh.
I didn't know they were worth anything. All of a sudden, Captain America, I sold him for $150 because I found the box inside of a cookie jar box.
Wow.
I had a Nick Fury that was beat up. Like, the box was damaged to all heck. Still sold it for $70. Nice. And I'm like, what do I need? These Thor sold for $100. I'm like, it's not making any sense to me. Why?
Right.
But Funko, from what I'm hearing, is doing it kind of right because they're not mass producing. If they mass produce, those never go up.
Right.
They're retiring things again.
They do. They understand the collector's market.
Yeah, and it's the box is the big issue. It's rare to be able to sell loose ones, which I'm actually shocked I still sold a few loose ones.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the rare piece, or getting an exclusive, or doing that kind of stuff. So.
The box thing now is because pure boxes, pristine boxes, are so rare that if they're damaged or dented, people don't care. They just want the Funko. That's what Nathan's been telling me. So I mean, he's meticulous. And Nathan's works for me. He is meticulous about his boxes and goes nuts. And like if it's damaged at all, he goes crazy. But it's part of the rub too. So
well, and that's why the price goes up. You have if I had that turtle box, and even if it was in pristine shape, that's a $1,500 set for the 4 turtles. Why? I know what my wife paid for them. She got them for me for Christmas. She paid $35 for the 4. It was an Amazon exclusive. And, I mean,
it's a rarity. It's people. I mean, people have money and want something to do, and they can't go to cons. What are they doing with their money?
That's what I'm wondering.
They can subscribe to the Southgate Media Group Patreon page. It's only $5 a month and get all this great content. Burn that money. Burn it.
6 Funkos.
But I'm wondering if that's what's creating this crazy market all of a sudden. It's because there is no conventions. There's nowhere to go. I mean, there are small conventions. I've seen people go. I've seen some advertised, but it's like you're going in. It's like the olden days where you're going into a basement of some place and there's like 3 tables set up, and that's all you got.
Right.
Do you guys go to the disc replay stores around here?
Yeah, I sell old DVDs there all the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I go for the DVDs and stuff. But I follow them on Facebook, and they're constantly posting that they have new Funko Pops.
Oh, tons of Funko from them.
Yeah, like the one in Downers Grove. They've got like a thing that reaches to the ceiling. It's this huge, like 3-wall thing they've created of Funko Pops, and I have 2. I have 2, and I only bought one of them on purpose. I have the War Doctor.
Oh, nice.
I have the box for him. I have the War Doctor. And then I have a Luke Skywalker. And the funny thing about that was I was at a game store, and they had a box where you could pay $1 and stick your hand in and get a rare magic card.
Oh, okay.
And
you would have enjoyed that.
And I stuck my hand in the secret box to get a rare magic card. And
I got a secret box for you to stick your hand in.
and what I pulled out was a basic land, but it said free Funko Pop. It was a basic land, and they had written on it free Funko Pop. And I'm like, what's this? He's like, go pick out a Funko Pop. I'm like, oh, I would have rather had the magic card, but you know what? There's a Luke Skywalker. I love Luke, so I got that. So I have the War Doctor, and it's Luke from Tatooine with the white shirt. So I have 2 Funko Pops. and that's it. And speaking for Beanie Babies, when I was at McDonald's years ago, I was there for the first teeny Beanie Baby Happy Meal.
Wow.
Which was just psychotic. The people just went nuts. People buying the Happy Meals, throwing the food away, and to keep the things. Adults coming in, buying 4 and 5 Happy Meals.
Scott, that's still happening. It's still happening today.
Yeah,
with the Pokemon cards.
Pokemon, yeah, they just did the Pokemon.
Because I went to McDonald's the other day for lunch, and I'm like, my son has some Pokemon cards, and I thought I'd get some. It's like, do you have the Pokemon cards? And the guy sounded like, he'd done this shtick 1,000 times. He's like, yes, we have some, but here are the rules. You can only buy 2 per person. You can't buy them outside this. You have to buy the Happy Meal. This whole thing. I'm like, all right, well, give me 2. So I got those 2. And I did the openings of them on my Instagram. If anybody follows me on Instagram, it's MiloBloom74. I do Magic Card and Pokemon pack openings. But as for the teeny beanie babies, we have like 2 or 3 here. And most of them are cat toys. Our cat has an aardvark, and she carries it around at night, and she does that song that cats do.
Yeah, she's hunting.
She's hunting, and she has a little aardvark. And then I have a duck that my mom gave me, so I have that for sentimental reasons. But yeah, and collecting in general, I've downsized a lot of merch. I actually sold some Star Wars toys a month or 2 ago. I had the Micro Machine sets with the little figures like that big, and it had the little play sets and stuff.
Rob has a garage full of them.
I do. I've actually sold a ton of them, and I've made some money off of those.
Yeah,
those are popular.
I remember finding them. I was blown away, but you had like 80 complete sets.
I still do.
God.
And I've already sold. One guy I ran into bought, I don't know, maybe 10 different things for me.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I made pretty good money off them. I was pretty happy with it. But the new purge is about to happen. It's going. It's going.
Hey, I remember back in the day when
you can store it here if you want.
D&D minis would drop, and you'd go in line on Tuesday, probably, and there'd be this long line of all the Beanie Baby ladies.
Yeah.
And like the guy from the store would see me walk up. He's like, just come on in. I'm like, why? And he goes, they're all waiting for Beanie Babies, and we only let 2 people in the store at a time. So you're not here for that. I'm like, no. So, I'd just go in and get my mini or, the new expansion or whatever and just walk in. It was just crazy. In fact, up until a couple of years ago, there were these 2 older guys that would sit right down the street from me, and they literally just had this big, huge bin and tables of Beanie Babies. And they would sit out there in their shorts, nothing else on, getting a tan, selling Beanie Babies to people for like $2 to $5 that were walking by. It was fantastic.
Yeah, actually, I have 2 stories. Martha was working in a baby store during the craze, and they had a display of those. And the only times that place, it got broken into twice, and all they took were Beanie Babies, which is crazy because they had, like $1,000 stroller sitting right there, but they took a handful of Beanie Babies and ran. And I don't remember if they both got caught. The one for sure got caught because when they were in there, they dropped their receipt from the cash station, which was right down the street. So it had their address, their name, all this crap on it. The cops were like, yep, this is who did it. Pretty easy to find them. And then the other thing is we owned a baby store, and we sold...
Babies?
No, but we sold Ty for a little bit. From my perspective, they were the strangest. It was like a cult.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were really weird. In fact, we might have not done business with them now that I'm thinking about it. I think we may have pulled the plug before it ever happened. I heard so many stories from other store owners, though. Like I remember one guy telling me that he said he had this really weird feeling. His rep was really weird and would always come in there and seem to know weird stuff about his business. And he said the one time he was on the phone, and it was kind of like Google. He's on or Facebook. He was on the phone and told a customer, "Yeah, we're not going to carry the Beanie Babies anymore." And 20 minutes later, the rep showed up and said, "I hear you're not carrying our Beanie Babies anymore." He was like,
what? Like, I was talking to a customer I know. What the? He had such weird feelings, and they were so weird. And people would say, like, don't talk about them, don't do it, like they were just like they thought they owned the world, and they were so intrusive. It was such a strange company. If I remember right, we did not carry them ultimately in our store. We did carry Pez, which was interesting because they're a weird company too, but they were much nicer, but they were weird because, like, at the time, if they would say, oh, we've got this new line coming out, and you'd go, oh, that's cool. They would say, like, we'll never do licensed characters, or very rarely. And you're going, but your most popular ones are these licensed characters.
Right.
No. Pez is the brand, not that. And then while we had them is when it switched, and all of a sudden they had Star Wars. And I would get these packs, and in my packs, there would be, you'd get the Star Wars pack, you'd get the whatever, and they always had a couple that were rare. They always did. So if you got there's the 6 Star Wars figures, maybe R2-D2 was rare.
Right.
And people would come in, digging through our stuff, trying to find this one rare Pez. It was really interesting. Like, they knew what stores carried them and where they were. It was an interesting collector's market. And that's why eBay started, There was somebody trying to sell their Pez.
Right. Yeah, the action figures have had the chase rares in the boxes for a long time. Like, it was big in the 90s and early aughts, where a box would come in and it would have, like, like, think of Star Trek figures. It would have, like, 6 of, like, some stupid alien of the week, and then a couple of Datas and a Riker, and then it would have just one Deanna Troi.
Yeah.
And Deanna Troi would be that chase rare of that box. And that's why you would see, and like the Star Wars were like that. That's why, in the mid 80s, when the Star Wars toys were dying down, you'd see all the ones on the shelf. It'd be all the weird aliens from the cantina.
Right, all that secondary stuff, yeah.
No, that secondary stuff that, nobody, you buy one and, like, okay, what else are you going to do? You're not going to buy extras of it.
Right.
You might buy multiple stormtroopers so you can have a platoon, but yeah, the figure thing has always been like that. And
I remember going into, when I was a kid, we always bought my Star Wars toys at Sears, because you'd walk in and they had this huge display. It was all carded Star Wars figures.
Oh, wow.
And it was just this huge, like, 4-sided display. And when Empire came out, you walked in, you're like, oh, new Empire toys. And, like, that was only there for like 2 weeks. And then the Yoda toy came out, and everyone was chasing the Yoda toy, and you couldn't find one. And I went there the day that, like, they said Yoda toys are coming in on Tuesday. I told my dad, we gotta go, and we went in, and the entire display was Yoda.
Oh my god!
I mean, all 4 sides. The only thing you could get for about 3 weeks was Yoda. It was crazy. Kind of like when Atari put out Pac-Man. I remember everybody was, like, clamoring for that piece of crap game. That game was terrible.
Well, everybody blames E.T. for the crash, but
Pac-Man played a big role in it.
It was really Pac-Man that started it.
Yeah, it's weird that I had the 2600 was my system to start with, of course, and I loved every game on that. And I even enjoyed the Pac-Man there, because I don't know, I was just glad
it wasn't the arcade, though.
It wasn't the arcade,
but
I mean, I played it. I had it.
Yeah, and I didn't get to arcades that much. I did sometimes, but
I did.
But I preferred to have it at home, and that experience, asteroids and combat and moon, and that's
Moon Patrol. That was a good one. We had 2 arcades right over here, man. I lived in those 2 arcades. I loved them.
Aladdin's Palace, and what else?
No, they weren't Aladdin's Palace. One was Fun Zone, which was over here in this little strip mall that has by Dominic's grocery store over here at Roselle. And
was there a bowling alley next to it or not?
No, the bowling alley is over on Higgins, but no, there was it was packed in there where there's like a Korean barbecue place there now.
Okay.
That place was a classic, man. It was dingy. It smelled like BO, like teenager feet. It was, but they had Dragon's Lair, which was the only place you could find it. They had the Popeye machine, which I addicted to. I loved it. That place was great. It seemed like they always got the newest game, like first, but it was a dingy rat hole of an arcade. And then the other one was over by a ice cream shop. So whenever like it would be a holiday, if a relative or parents or friends wanted to give a gift to the kid, it would be like, here's $5 in quarters, which I would be like, my God, I hit the lottery. And my parents would take me to that one because I could also then con my parents, because that's the one I'd ask for, because I knew when I'd go, I could con them into getting me ice cream at the ice cream place right there. Always working the angles. Always working the angles.
Oh, yeah.
That one I remember because it was 3 stories. And that one, it was always filled with older, like teenagers and college age students. So it was, you'd walk around and just be like, I'm just going to wait until it's my turn to play this machine. I'm not going to put my quarters up because somebody's going to steal it. Yeah, but that was a good arcade. But this other one was dingy. It was like a rat hole. It was awesome.
I was too young.
I remember more of the arcade games that were in other stores, like the Shoe Carnival. You guys have been in
they'd have an arcade game.
It used to be like a carnival. Like they'd have a guy out front barking like a carnival barker, and they'd give giveaways, and they'd have a big wheel of fortune you could spin, and they had arcade games in the back. Like there was one
would follow you into the bathroom. It was awesome.
but they had a Simpsons arcade.
You got a little.
Oh, good.
Simpsons arcade, one of the finest video games ever made
by Konami.
And
I loved that game.
And they'd have that in the back of the game, and parents take us in like, okay, you guys need shoes. Like, yeah, where's the shoes? Grab them. Where's the quarters? And me and my brother hit that Simpsons arcade, or sometimes it was the Turtles arcade game, the first one, which was also fantastic.
Speaking of the Turtles, they announced a new game. 16-bit with a really great upscale background design, 4-player. I believe it's going to be online 4-player.
What's this called?
Right now they said it just says consoles and PC. So my guess is going to be on everything because they've already done that with Streets of Rage came out on the Xbox. You can play it for free on the Xbox if you have the Game Pass. Right. And like it's like stylized, but it's that old school. There's a trailer for it right now on YouTube. It's fantastic. I posted it on the League of Geeks page.
Yeah, I just got an Xbox One and a PS4 finally, and we're about to get a Switch. So those kind of games, something where I can do multiplayer with friends, totally looking for.
Yeah, especially the Turtles. Yeah. I mean the Turtles.
Yeah, Turtles.
You see them, and it's like I love Turtles the arcade. Turtles in Time, I think, is one of the best ones.
Great one.
That's the 16-bit one.
Yep.
Super Nintendo.
I just loaded on my thing. I had the Rare collection, and I didn't know what was on it other than a couple of them, and I started scanning through it. It had Battletoads on there. I'm like, oh, damn, that game was brutal. A nightmare. Oh, I used to love it. I loved that game. It was so hard.
They have the new Battletoads out, too.
Yeah, I know.
That one's tough.
What is up with the Battletoads thing being so hard?
Games like that annoy me because it's like, I want to experience your game. A challenge is one thing. A challenge is one thing, but making it just so brutally hard that you can't advance. I remember a couple of years ago, you were talking about the Twiggy Awards and stuff. And I remember one year into your thing we did, and I mentioned the game that disappointed me most was Cuphead.
Yeah.
Because it used that old iWorks animation style.
Yeah, which I'm actually going to pick up, knowing that you hated it.
It's a tough game.
I tried playing it, and it's just this brutal shooter that I couldn't get past the first couple of stages. And I'm like, I want to see this beautiful world you've created,
Yeah.
At least give me an option to explore.
That's why you watch Twitch. Watch some 12-year-old play
then
through it.
Then you got to play Kirby Dream Land then. Or you can just float through the game then. You play Kirby.
I like Kirby.
I'm playing Red Dead right now. Red Dead 2. Yeah, riding horses, shooting bad guys.
So it's 2017 for you right now.
Welcome to 2017. This is This Week in Geek. Alil is talking about how DC is trying to make its first movie.
Was it?
So speaking of that, I don't know. I just made that up. We only have a few more minutes here. So let's do a little bit of geek news. Next week, The Snyder Cut hits. I'm watching. Anyone else watching?
Oh yeah,
I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe
4 hours.
You haven't seen it though, right, Scott?
no.
Yeah.
Do I need to watch
really
the Man of Steel and the Batman versus Superman?
You don't have to watch any of that stuff.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
certainly not Batman versus Superman.
I think you do.
Batman.
Why'd you say that name? I don't think you do because I don't think
I've seen that meme and I cannot fathom how that conversation happens organically.
It's terrible.
The director's cut changes it, and it's so much better.
I agree.
It was stupid. It was bad.
It's still stupid in the director's cut.
Yeah, but it's better. It's better. That's why I'm kind of hopeful for this. It might make more sense. I think Joss Whedon really boned this thing up good. And I knew the second this movie started.
I think he got hosed. I think they made him do some of that.
No, I think he wanted to. They told him to lighten it up. So he came in and he added some comedic elements. He was trying to recreate the Avengers. And that Superman with when they had to, CGI the mustache out, my God, that looked awful. Like I wanted my money back right there.
He had a puffy face already.
Oh, terrible. So, okay, we got Snyder Cut coming out this week. What else is going on? Anything?
Falcon. Well, it's not this week. It's next week.
What? Yeah,
that's Falcon and Falcon Winter Soldier.
Falcon Winter Soldier. That's going to be awesome. Any other news that happened? I know that they just said that Michael B. Jordan is directing Creed 3. That's going to be coming out.
Oh, wow.
Did you see that? Anyone see that?
Is it 2 or 3?
No, it's 3.
It would be 3 because he fought Drago's son in 2.
Oh.
I will break you.
Because they brought back Dolph for that one. That was actually pretty cool.
I didn't see the second one. I loved the first one. I thought the first one was fantastic.
Second one was good. It wasn't as good as the first, but it was good.
He's directing the third one. So I'm in. I want to see it. I mean, I even like Rocky V, which was not good. That's the worst of the whole
That's
series.
the Street Fight one, right?
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Is that the Tommy Gunn Morrison?
Tommy Gunn, yeah. That's the one where he was supposed... Well, according to the original script, Rocky was supposed to die. Tommy Gunn was supposed to hit him, and he was supposed to fall and hit his head and get a brain aneurysm and die at the end of the movie.
Oh, my God.
And so
the studio wouldn't let him kill Rocky. Huh?
Right? Clint Eastwood wins an Oscar off of that movie. So.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that was how that was supposed to end, and they wouldn't let him kill the character, which he's probably happy about now because he's like, hey, can we do another Rambo? Yeah, you didn't kill him yet. Okay. Can we do another Rocky? Yeah, I'll make him old. Yeah, let's do it. How about another Over the Top?
That last Rambo was pretty good. I like that last Rambo.
The last one that came out recently?
Yeah, Last Blood.
Damn, I didn't see that one yet.
I thought it was again.
I liked the one before that. The one
old Rambo,
the old Rambo one
when he was in the jungle still.
Yes, that was awesome. That was better than Rambo 3. Rambo 3 was garbage.
No,
where he went back.
3 was when he goes back because 2 is
the real
2's go back and 3 is Afghanistan, right? That's bad.
First Blood was good. Rambo was good. That's 2. 3 is the Afghanistan one, which is garbage. 4 is the one that they did like 50 years later.
Where if you watch Parks and Rec, that's the one that Chris Pratt talks about and talks through it he goes through the entire movie when they don't have TV during Leslie Knope's campaign.
I don't remember that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, because he's like, why are you up the river? You don't have any guns. You need to get guns. And it's the whole thing. It's a great scene. Go watch.
Yeah, I'm going to check that one out. I love that show.
But yeah, the newest one, he goes to Mexico. He has a ranch somewhere. We really don't talk about where, but I mean, some of the stuff is unbelievable, but it's pretty good. I mean, it kind of you get a little of that old school Rambo stuff where he's setting up traps and in the first
cool man. November of 2022 is Creed 3, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I'll watch that.
There's two different things about Star Trek movies.
So one of the writers of Discovery, Kalinda Vasquez, is set to write a new Star Trek movie with J.J. Abrams producing. And then news broke today that Nicholas Meyer, who did Star Trek 2 and helped with some of the others and also did Star Trek 6, is also going to do another movie.
I thought they weren't doing any more movies.
They put them on pause because they wanted to, because Beyond, Star Trek Beyond, which came out 5 years ago now, it didn't do well, but
which sucks because that was one of my favorites.
It was fun. It was so fun. I loved it. I absolutely loved Beyond, and it just didn't do well at the box office. So they put all the movies on pause. And they kind of built up with Discovery and Picard and Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Again, Lower Decks is just awesome.
I've watched 2 episodes. It's really, really good.
It is fun. But yeah, so they're trying again. So they got one of the Discovery writers, and I know Discovery is kind of hit or miss for a lot of people, but I think letting this writer out of
it's not hit or miss. Doug Jones is on it. 5 stars.
Oh, okay, yeah. But the second season was awesome because it had Pike, which is getting his own series. If you didn't know that, they're giving Captain Pike a new series.
I think to keep that Disney, or what is it, Paramount Plus or whatever it is, CBS Plus, whatever Plus. I think to keep that going, eventually every character will have its own show from Star Trek.
Yeah, when's the Captain Worf show coming? Because Michael Dorn has wanted to do that for years.
They're going to do the Upper Decker show, which is about the one guy. He's a real minor character, but he used to take craps in the Enterprise toilets in the upper part. He called it. Yeah, that show's coming too.
Oh my God.
Terrible joke.
The jokes are back.
Can I do a magic corner?
Sure.
So Magic the Gathering has announced a new thing they're doing called Universes Beyond. They're going to start doing cards based on other IPs. So they're going to branch outside of their own little universe, and they're going to do other IPs. But the first 2 that they say being The Lord of the Rings, which is an easy fit, and Warhammer 40K.
I can see that.
So they're going to make cards based on things like that. They already started with
to bring it in,
Walking Dead cards. So they're doing all these extra things now that they're not going to be standard legal for the main ongoing formats, but they'll be in the legal and the legacy ones. But yeah,
is nobody going to understand the 40K, the Warhammer ones? Because it's impossible.
I've seen people I've seen low level conversations about it, and the one I get from it is that their starships work because they believe they work. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to touch that.
You know what? What they really need to do is bring in a Doctor Who set, because how cool would that be to throw in that element of it?
Right.
That would that sci-fi thing
with the silence and be great.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Oh, yeah. And then eventually Marvel, they'll have the Spider-Verse.
That's hard. I mean, Magic's got money, but I don't know if Magic has money to do that. That'd be expensive.
Magic has been owned by Hasbro for years.
To get the Doctor Who license?
Flux did it.
Magic can do that.
I have Doctor Who Flux. They got that.
Yeah. But
Which is fantastic, by the way.
It is fantastic.
I think.
I don't know. The BBC is.
I think the BBC is willing to license out Doctor Who for things like that, because I feel that the shows don't make them a lot of money. It's all the merchandising.
Yeah,
it's all America. So it's literally all BBC America and merchandise. Because
you know who won't do it is you won't see a Marvel set, because Disney will just put out their own version of Magic.
No, they'll buy Magic and then do it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, Disney
they
license a lot. They license a lot. You see a lot of stuff with their
They also create their own when they're like, you know what? We'll just buy this company that makes something similar to it and beef it out.
I mean, they could have done that with Funko, but they licensed the Funko.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, if
I have decided I want one more Funko. I want Jyn Erso from Rogue One.
Cool.
And I've looked around at some of the stores, and I never see that, and I have to think, and I'm starting to think that might be one of the chase rares.
It's not.
So
it was thrown in the trash.
Oh,
I remember seeing that one. It was
so common. It was everywhere. Yeah, I think we have one. Yeah.
Really? I'll keep checking into disc replays and stuff. But I'm sorry that's the third one I want. I want to have three. I'll have 3 Funko Pops, and that's it.
Because you want a gin or so.
Yeah.
And with that,
I could do a whole episode. I could do a whole This Week in Geek episode on my love for Rogue One. Okay?
We could do a one-off on that. I wouldn't mind watching it again and talking it out.
It's a great movie.
In fact, I bought the book. I can't think what it's called, but there's like a prequel book to it that got incredible reviews. Rising Sun or something. I don't remember. But I picked that up. I was going to read that. I ordered that when I ordered Lost Star, which is like it's one that ties into the new trilogy. And the reviews I read said it's better than the trilogy. They're like, no, this is what you wanted, this book.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm down for doing a Rogue One talk sometime. Alil won't because Alil.
The movie's fine, but it's not 99 cents. The camera's not.
Are you kidding?
I mean, it's $8 to ship, but yeah, it's all on eBay. You can find, and they have like multiple. There's multiple different Generosos, so you can get the Target exclusive one. That one's selling for $5. The Smuggler's Bounty one, which was, anywhere from $1 to $5. The regular, which is anywhere from $1 to $5. It's whatever you want.
Sweet. All right. I'm going to end it for this week. We don't know a schedule for this yet. We don't know what we're doing, but I had a hell of a time. This video will be exclusive to our Patreon page for Southgate Media Group, which I'll put links on whatever we send out about it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to use this on the regular feed or not. I might just take a little section of it and put it on there and let people know that we're back and doing our thing. But I had a great time, guys. I really missed doing this with you guys. And this is the way to do it, man. Just 4 old geeks talking it out. Well, 1 old geek and 3 young men.
What are you talking about, Willis?
I love that. We're like, what are we, like 2 years apart? Oh, man, I got to go.
You guys and Emmanuel Lewis are all getting your AARP cards. Don't put me in that.
I keep getting the things in the mail from the AARP.
Yeah, we get them.
I'm not even close to that. Come on.
Not me.
But they keep offering these things like a trunk organizer, and I'm like, that is kind of nice. But,
Scott's should we have, instead of a death pool, we should have an ARP pool. Who's the first that's going to actually do it? It's going to be Scott.
As soon as I need my AAA discount, I'm joining.
I love my AAA discount. I love that.
What do you mean you love that?
I use my AAA discount when we travel and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. When you're booking a hotel, you say, "Hey, do you have a AAA discount?" And they'll be like, "Oh, yeah," and it'll take like $20 off right there, and you go, "Oh, all right."
Awesome.
Yeah, I've used it a lot. And I use my AAA because a couple of times I had a car that the batteries kept dying in it. And, man, it's the best. This is not an endorsement for AAA. It's actually an endorsement for AAA. I love it. Yeah.
Sponsor our show.
That's it. Hey, does anyone want to give their social media? I mean, we might as well do it on here. Scotty, why don't we start with you?
I am on Tumblr as Scotty Smurf, and I'm on Instagram as MiloBloom74.
All right. Chris.
I can be found at Blue Box Cafe or Blue Box Cafe 176 on social media.
Awesome. Alil.
I can be found on Twitter at LOGEEKZ for the League of Geeks podcast. Yes, Z. On Instagram at the League of Geeks Alil. Facebook, wherever. YouTube, the League of Geeks, all that fun stuff. Doing all this stuff.
Yeah, you're joining the League of Old Geeks now.
We are. We joked about it a long time ago that we're going to change our name to the League of Geezers, and it's coming.
It's coming. I've listened to the show.
Yeah, we're all on. At least me. I'm on medications for a bunch of stuff, and start my morning up with some pills and vitamins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, when the Power Rangers are a 50-year-old show,
know that you're getting old. And you can find me, man, I never tweet, but I'm at rsouthgate. On Instagram, you can find me under Rob Southgate. And go to our website. Go to southgatemediagroup.com. You'll find a link under podcasts for This Week in Geek, which we just redesigned. I think it's really cool, and we're going to add a few more elements to it as we go forward here. But it's really cool, and you can check out all of our shows there. And definitely subscribe to our Patreon and tell your friends. Like I said, $5. And you get the Patreon show, and it's not just this. We have shows. We have a whole bunch of shows. In fact, by the time we're done, it's almost like going to be its own radio station. We've got so many things that are kind of brewing that the only way you're going to hear them in their entirety is there on the Patreon page. So, but if you're a fan of League of Geeks, if you're a fan of This Week in Geek, this is the only place you're going to find this video. So. There you go. I'm done. Until next time, geek it out.
Good night.
Not enough said.
Oh! That's it, everybody. Enough said.
Yeah.
And remember your own hashtag.
It's been a while.